Today, we're going to combine the Cursor AI coding assistant with Black Duck website IDE plugin to update a banking application to enable it to transfer some money from one account into another. Now, the great thing with coding assistants like Cursor is that they really help improve developer productivity. They accelerate development processes. They can help automate repetitive tasks as well. But of course, they get a lot of the code that they provide from public repositories and open source software as well. So that means they can sometimes introduce risks as well. So that's why we're going to be combining it with the CodeSite IDE plugin today. That's going to help us go and identify security defects, vulnerabilities, and even license compliance risks so that we can ship secure and safe software using the AI coding assistant. Now, today I'm going to be using this on the fly and in real time, so can't be certain what the AI is going to provide to us, but we're going to do our best, and I think it'll work out pretty well. So as I mentioned, we're going to go over to the Cursor environment, and we can see that here we have this banking application that we're using. I've got my files on the left, and you'll notice up top that we have an icon for Black Duck as well. So if I click on this, you can see that in the past, I've actually run some scans of our code and, of course, resolved a bunch of defects. I've still got a few defects left as well that I can work on. And I'm going to do that in a little while also. But before I do that, I just want to come over and I want to actually focus on creating new capabilities today. So to get this started, I'm going to come over to the AI chat window. And I'm simply going to type in here what I want it to do. All right. And with that, I'm just going to tell Cursor to get started on that request. And now what it's going to do is it's going to go through my project and go through a number of tasks, of course. Looks like first off, it's seeing what capabilities are already in this project that it can use. And then it's going to figure out how to go forward itself and actually make those new changes and add that new capability. So while it's doing that, again, I would think it's important that we think about how these AI coding assistants work. Much of the code that they generate is actually repurposed from publicly available information on the internet, open source projects, things of that nature. So what that means is while these tools are really effective at increasing productivity, they can actually introduce new issues into our code as well. So we need to be careful with that. In fact, some studies have shown that these coding assistants will actually repurpose up to 30% of vulnerabilities that it finds in code. So certainly there's the risk of adding new capabilities. So that's why we need to make sure that we test this code really well and we make sure that it's safe before we deploy it. And that's what we're going to be doing using CodeSite along with Cursor today. All right. Now it looks like that request has completed, and I see a list of the new files that have been created or edited within my project. I can go over into the file view, into my Explorer window, and see that I have some new files. Transfer controller I know is new, as well as some new files, and several have been updated here as well. So it looks like this request has been completed. Now, what I want to do, though, is I want to come in and see if any new issues were introduced. So, of course, as we'd seen before, we already had a handful of issues here that I need to resolve, hard-coded secrets and a couple of other things that certainly we don't want to be shipping our products with. But I'm going to come in now. We've added quite a bit of new capability here to this application. So I'm going to come in and say, well, let's do another scan of the project. And let's see if there are more issues that we uncover after adding this new code. So the CodeSite plugin is now going to run, and it's going to do a full scan of my local environment for this project to find whatever vulnerabilities or defects are in there. All right, now it looks like our scan has completed, and as I suspected, we do have some new issues that have come up that have been introduced by adding this new capability. We've gone from what looked like about 14 issues before to now 41. Several of them are not high criticality. It looks like not high severity. However, there are some in here that certainly look like things that we're going to want to address right away. Right off at the top, I can see that we have a SQL injection. So if I click on this, what we're going to see, and I'm going to hide this window as well, what we'll see over here is the CodeSight plugin is going to, after identifying this issue, it's going to provide us with information about the specific issue. So I can see a description and learn more about what caused this so that I can avoid this type of issue in the future. I can also come over to our AI Insights side, and it's actually going to come up with a code fix for me right on the fly so that I can avoid creating this type of issue. And now what I'm going to see here is that it's calling out the specific function where the issue is happening. This find users by username is not a secure function. It's not doing it properly. So it's actually going to provide me with a fix suggestion right over here on the right that I can simply copy and paste into this code. So I will simply come over and copy that. And I'm now going to paste it into where the issue was. Save that. And when I come back, I'm going to run one more quick scan over here and just make sure that it's actually resolved the issue with the fix suggestion that it gave us. So we'll come back over and we will run the test one more time. And now, just like that, I can see that our scan has completed and that SQL injection vulnerability has been removed. So the code fix that CodeSight provided us has worked to help resolve this issue quite easily. So that worked great. As you can see, we still have several more issues that we could go through and resolve. I'm not going to do that today. What I do want to do, though, is I've decided I actually want to add one more feature to this application. So I'm going to go back to my Explorer window over here, and I'm actually going to create a new file at this point. And I'm going to call it, let's call it transaction controller. Java. And what I want to do now is I want to come over and add one more feature to actually track the transaction. So after these funds are transferred for record keeping purposes, of course, legal purposes, I want to make sure that we're able to track all of the information about what's been done. So I'm going to add that capability here as well. Now, before I do that, I actually want to highlight another great feature of CodeSight. I'm going to go back over to this tab and I'm going to turn on our auto scan capability. So what auto scan is going to enable me to do is, as I write new code, as I create or edit my code, it's going to find issues in real time as I write. And this is really great to combine with these AI coding assistants because as new code gets put in, it's finding the issues right away so you can get them resolved right away as well. So now that that's enabled, I'm going to add my new capability. And, just to make sure that we're not just focused purely on Cursor and some of the issues that it can create today, I'm actually going to copy some code out of Copilot to create this new functionality as well. And we're going to see if we get the same type of issue here. So coming back over to my window, we have auto scan now enabled, and I'm just going to post this code snippet in. And very quickly, we see auto scan has run and it found an issue right away. Actually, it's going to be a hard-coded secret that it found in this case. So again, we're going to have some information about what caused it, how to remediate it, and that type of thing. Now, this is a peculiar issue to have included here. I can see that in this particular case, it's got a database password that it is hard-coded. Interestingly, on the lines right above that, I can see that it has properly used environment variables instead. And as I looked at my remediation advice, I see that this is actually a really quick way for me to fix this. So I'm simply going to copy that from the previous one and just update now, call that password. And I will see just like that, we have rescanned it and that issue has been resolved. So this is a great example of adding code in real time, auto scan, finding an issue, providing us a quick fix that I can put in there. And now we're getting down to having a much more secure application. So with that, I'm now going to be able to go back later on today, go through the rest of these issues, resolve them, and use code sites to get these issues remediated quickly. That's good to wrap up what we're working on today. But with that, you've been able to see how we've combined the speed and velocity that the Cursor AI coding assistant provides with CodeSite IDE plugin to provide high quality, secure applications at the speed that your developers want to work with AI. Thank you for your time today, and we'll see you again soon.